Do you want to do the intro? Or do you want me to do the intro?
We don't have an intro other than, hey guys, it's your favourite duo, Mark and Alex.
I mean, I think that's good enough.
You know who it is. It's your favourite duo.
The dynamic duo, as per our podcast description.
I mean, yeah, we are a dynamic duo.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
So let's just get into it to those 5 people who are listening. Yes, we're talking about you.
Hello, 5 people.
Yes.
We see you and we love you.
Eltrea gang, welcome.
Hello to our friends. We miss you.
No, we don't.
No,
No,
we
don't.
don't.
They are like literally a floor above.
I mean, yeah. We still miss you. This is our like first actual episode.
Yeah, I mean, like previous one was like
It was a pilot. It was a
pilot.
little...
We'll see. We saw if it worked or not, and we judged it. It was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't our best piece, but it wasn't our worst one either.
I think our worst one is yet to come, and I think our best one is yet to come.
It's yet to come also.
So
Yeah, that's true.
I wonder when it's gonna be a scandal.
Imagine we get cancelled in episode 1.
I can totally see that. By the way.
I can totally see that. You know who else is getting cancelled? Elon Musk on Twitter. Did you like my segue?
Oh, wonderful segue. No, yeah. I mean. To be fair, what's going in the whole not just the Twitter in the entirety of the tech sector is a shit
Yeah.
show.
So I ended up screenshotting some things.
Okay.
So, as it stands, currently, Facebook, Instagram,
Meta.
the metaverse,
Meta.
they are laying off more than 11,000 staff. It's,
I think Twitter laid off
13% of their staff they're getting rid of and it's sort of like because Meta has been struggling and like
Oh, okay, right.
they
So
need to cut so many workers to like basically under like wider plans to like cut costs, refocus the business, but like 11,000 people are getting laid off. Like
yes,
that is
the same
not...
with Twitter. I think they laid off with 50%.
They laid off more. So I found that they had like say I don't know.
I think the 50% was an initial, but then they laid
They're
off.
currently
sales.
left with like I think 750 workers.
It's ridiculous.
Twitter was like there was literally a thing that said like we are unsure if Twitter is going to last this weekend. Now because of the layoffs on Twitter, I don't know if you have Twitter or if you don't.
I have Twitter. I'm not gonna share my handle because I do not use it.
I don't use Twitter either. But people are now posting full movies on Twitter. They are not being taken down because
the moderator team is, I assume, is way too busy.
I assume probably doesn't exist either at this point. I don't know. There's also because of the whole Qatar thing. There's football players who are being absolutely like just destroyed on Twitter. Those posts aren't getting just deleted either because there's no one's moderating Twitter.
Twitter went to shit.
It's a hellhole.
Right. Okay. So
awful.
A couple of things to note here. Right. I think somewhat Twitter's layoffs is probably being somewhat unjustified, but
I agree.
To a certain amount of degree, it is justified the same way as Meta laid off the staff. It's an insane amount of people who lost their job. I'm not saying it was good for them. I am saying that from a company point of view, it might make sense because that's probably the only way they can cut costs in a short term.
Yeah.
The problem is, realistically, is that during the pandemic, they overhired. Which means that
loads of people worked from home. They didn't really need
because
to put
they
these
didn't
people
need to be in the office.
Yeah.
Lots of people work from home, and all of these platforms, because everybody was on remote, gained insane amount of traffic and more visitors, and they needed more developers. And the cash flow that came in basically meant for these companies that we can absolutely do this. But as Mark Zuckerberg said, before in his actual announcement when he laid off the 11,000 people, right? It was that it's my bad because I did not foresee that this increase of cash flow will stop, and it did, because basically the moment
it had to stop eventually. Yeah.
The moment people were able to get out of the pandemic, at least in my opinion, right? I think we started using social media less. Because
I agree.
Personally, I used Facebook more on day to day. Like I had video calls every day.
Yeah, like
when I
during
was
the
in
pandemic,
the pandemic, right? And then right now we are out. First of all, I don't live alone anymore, so that's also useful. But even then, like, I only use video calls today for work, and I call my family sometimes every 2 days, but sometimes it's 3 days in a row. But there are days when I don't talk to my family.
Yeah, no,
my point is I'm not using social media as much.
Yeah, because people are going into the office, the restrictions are down, people can see people, so they're using it less. No, I agree. I mean, I think that the one positive of loads of these kind of people getting laid off is that currently in the tech aspect of it, the things that you do, right?
Yeah.
It's not just that people who finish computer science can do this. You guys also have mathematicians and physicists that also go into your field, right? I think that if they fire all of these people, companies are gonna be more inclined to hire an actual computer scientist. I think it's gonna be
right.
Maybe not. Don't get me wrong. Maybe not. But, I mean, the way that I see it is that it's if there's a work that can be done by different fields, I don't think that is fully that should happen.
Right.
I think that companies should be we need computer scientists for this job because they've went to uni for it.
In regard is a thing that applies mostly for junior and graduate positions. But realistically, if you've worked as a developer for 10, 15 years, no one gives a shit if your degree was in criminology.
No, I mean,
if your degree was in education.
I think the
thing is, the computer science is one of those fields. I think, especially programming, and not necessarily computer science, but software development, because that's what we're talking about, really.
Yeah.
Software development is such a field that if you have experience, it can be a very hands-on job. And that experience might be enough to basically say that, I don't have a computer science degree, but I have 15 years of experience as a developer at Twitter. So
no, I mean 100%. But the way I see it is, I think the way that I see it is that it should be that I mean obviously these people have that sort of work experience, but they might turn around and be well, actually, the new people coming in, the juniors, the post grads, right? I think they should be more a bit you studied physics, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, so obviously
go to your own field. I don't understand.
I have multiple friends who, for example, graduated from physics in this university I went to. And then
we have a Polish friend who literally studies fucking physics, right?
Do you? Oh, right.
Right?
Yeah. We do, yeah, of course.
And he worked with my boyfriend for
as a software developer.
Right,
I have a friend who graduated from physics.
Who literally going into that had no experience but got the job because they were looking for someone. And just the fact that he did, I don't know if he's doing physics or maths. I'm not very good at. They both are not my.
So the problem is So the problem here is that realistically today, every big STEM major, that is engineering. So
science, technology, engineering, maths.
So mostly engineering, I would say. So electrical engineering requires programming skills. Mechatronics requires programming skills. Robotics requires programming skills. aerospace engineering requires programming skills
I
because
mean, yeah, but there are
cannot
jobs for these people, you know?
the thing is, there is always a minimum requirement of programming skills. So you will get some sort of program. Obviously, you won't get the same experiences we do
Yeah, but no,
as a
right.
computer science major.
Okay,
But
I'll give you an example.
But the thing is,
though.
in a computer science major as a university, like when you study at university, you learn much more than programming. So we have so many theoretical things that we know, and in terms of architecture building and software architecture building, that they don't get hands-on experience on, because it's very theoretical in these other disciplines. That when a company is just looking for a developer who's going to implement a ticket, that they tell them that, hey, listen, here is an issue, implement it in this way, then they can just do it, because the people who actually making the architectural decisions are the ones with a computer science degree or with enough experience.
Okay,
so the thing is, I understand why they hire them, but I'm not saying it's right.
No, okay. I study speech therapy at uni. Part of my course is also like psychology, and I have aspects of like teaching, like actual teaching of like I could probably go into being a teacher, right? But at the end of my degree is in speech therapy.
Yeah.
And sure, I have some knowledge on psychology, and I have some knowledge on like if I wanted to be a teacher, I'd probably have like a good starting base. But I finished uni as a speech therapist.
Yeah.
And that's my field. That's where I should go. So
the
way
problem is,
and you don't see speech therapists then who have a degree in speech therapy going, actually, well, you know what? I had that one module where I learned about psychology, so I am now going to go and work in psychology. I mean, obviously, it's a little more complicated for us because it's like NHS and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like if you study, I don't know, NASA shit, go to NASA. Like, why are you stealing?
Right. So
why are you going to Google or Facebook if you can just go to NASA if that's what you study?
In the company.
And if you know that there is no way that you're going to get into NASA, choose a fucking different degree. Choose one that you know you can get a job out of.
Yeah, so that's the problem, right? Is you choose your things based on what you like. So I had a talk with this friend who I had in basically physics, graduated last year, and basically since September he has been working as a Java developer back in my hometown. And I asked him, hey, why did you not get a job in physics? And he was like, well, because you can either do like research, but then you have to be going at a university and starting with a really low wage. Like, there's not that many physics jobs out there. That's not research, like applied physics. And it's much easier for me to get a developer job by just doing like some dev projects on my own and then submitting that portfolio and proving that I actually know my things. Because even though I have a university degree, but I just couldn't find a job with that.
Yeah.
And the same thing is, for example, where I work, we're always looking for mechanical engineers, right? As well, for our products. Like, I'm working on the software side, they're working on the actual like engineering bit. And in a lot of cases, the company hires aerospace engineers, even though the company has nothing to do with planes. It's because some of the core engineering concepts in propulsion technology and in chassis building and aerodynamics is the same.
Right.
It's the same thing, right?
I mean...
So it's like...
I don't know.
The thing is, yes, you got a degree in aerospace engineering and you can go in, but it's such a niche field that they just go into different areas. Because with propulsion technology, you can use it in more... Like, it's a cross thing. It's a cross-industry thing, right?
Yeah, but now think about all of
an
these
engine
people.
Is an engine.
All of these people are now getting laid off from Twitter, right?
Oh yeah, so this is like...
Where, like, in reality, what, maybe 20% of those people actually have a computer science degree? Like, most of them probably are like, oh, I just did some, like, dev work on the side got this job. Some people are probably finishing maths. Some of them did physics. Some of them did engineering. Like, loads of these people are getting, like, laid off from their dev work. I'm saying dev work for
like,
the purpose.
The thing is, especially Meta has laid off developers, but with Twitter, the layoff wasn't just developers.
I mean, yeah, no, I get that. Like Twitter's
a lot of them
kind of got rid of everybody, but
Facebook is a lot of developers. And to be fair, I was just discussing this with your boyfriend the other week, I think, and we were just like, hey, yeah, I mean, it's really good that we have like at least contracts with these companies we are after right now, because
finding a job now is going to be fucking impossible.
The tech landscape is going to be super like full with like insane talent, and it might not be as much in the UK because we're talking about primarily American firms.
No, they're getting laid off in the UK too.
But they're getting laid off here. Like, they still have, like, Facebook has, Meta has a center here, I'm sure.
Twitter does as well.
Twitter does as well. Like, the point is,
Google, I mean, if all of
Google is in London. I think, to be fair, Meta might be in Ireland.
I'm not sure.
But
I think so.
But the thing is, it will affect the UK, but it won't affect us as much as in the United States.
In the United States. No, like, I mean, definitely. But still, like, all of these people, like, if you put it into numbers, I mean, about over 20,000 people are being laid off. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
And I'm pretty sure
there's gonna be more of them. There's gonna be more layoffs.
So
they're gonna get rid of a lot more people. Like, I looked it up and stuff. People are now saying that, like, Facebook, like Meta, they are very cautiously looking at what Twitter is doing. Twitter currently has 750 workers.
And basically saying if they can work with less people.
If they can work with less people, that works for them, because why would they pay wages to 11,000 people if they can keep that as a profit to them, make the product better, right? No, like, it's going to be a domino effect. And then the worst thing is that, like, if you want to change your job, you are going to have to basically compete. Obviously, you needed to compete before in your field, but now you're going to have to also compete with these, like, 20,000 people who are being laid off from companies like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
I think it might just balance out in the next couple of years.
It's gonna be ages. Like, there are next they're gonna get rid of, like, Google's gonna go next for sure.
I mean, the thing is,
Apple's gonna go.
So the problem is realistically the fact that there is a lack of competition in like these like large scale spaces, right? So when you look at Meta is a social media giant, right? It's almost can be called a monopoly, in my opinion.
I agree.
Because
for sure.
You have Twitter, you have TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use TikTok, so I don't know how popular it is. And you have Snapchat.
Does Twitter? I mean, yeah, but then there's also Meta, right? Which is Facebook,
Meta,
WhatsApp, Instagram.
Meta is Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and it actually includes like a whole bunch of other companies.
And a whole bunch of other companies.
But the whole point is, like, there is like the three largest social media. Well, at least Instagram and Facebook are massive.
Oh,
I'm not sure about WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp that often.
I do. I sometimes like chat to like grandparents and stuff on WhatsApp.
Fair enough.
Not often.
I talk to my grandpa on WhatsApp as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I use it to.
But yeah, so there's that. But at least where I'm from, Twitter was never big.
See, where I only installed Twitter like when I was 16.
I installed Twitter.
Only reason for
Twitter
it,
because
right?
I followed a guy who was making subtitles for one of my TV series.
Fair enough. No, I installed it when I was 16 because it was really big on Twitter that after your GCSEs or your A-levels, people went to Twitter and hashtagged the exam board and like the exam that they did on that day. And obviously the whole nation's doing the same exam on the same day at the same time.
Yeah.
So at the end of your exam, you could go onto Twitter and see people like talking about the question that you answered, or like chatting shit about like this exam or how difficult it was and stuff.
See, I feel like
and
Twitter is like very big in the US and Canada.
I agree. I mean,
even in the UK, people use it.
People use it. I don't personally.
I think that especially our generation doesn't use Twitter in the UK as much.
Oh, you'd be surprised. No, you'd be surprised. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that say to me like, "Oh my God, this thing happened on Twitter," and I'm just like, I don't follow.
We might need a Twitter presence to like get topics in. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I don't really use Twitter. Like the only purpose I installed it for was everybody. I mean, the whole nation was talking about our exams, and I just thought, you know what? I like to read about other people being really angry at this one exam that I did. And like, and it was nice to know that like, oh, I'm not the only one that like struggled with this one question. Like people were like overanalyzing it and underanalyzing it, and like people were talking shit and saying like, oh, I'm going to fail. Memes happened because of these exams. Like I remember being like 16 and seeing like memes come out 5 minutes after my exam ended because someone like was like, oh my God, this one question meme. Like that's the only reason why Twitter was on my phone. It isn't now.
It is not on my phone either.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with the way that Elon Musk is currently doing things.
Okay, right. I think that his intentions of making Twitter better is honest, but I don't think he knows what he's doing, right? So thing is, Twitter had its fair share of issues. Like, but the problem is Elon is probably going to make a very wild, like, free speech haven, which is not going to be good because it's going to enable hate speech and things like that.
No, you know what?
And I don't think that's going to be good.
Someone commented something. They made a very good comment, and they basically said Elon knows how to work the companies that he currently has. So he's very good at making Tesla and doing the whole Tesla thing.
Right.
He's
that's
very
not
good.
True, though.
No, but listen, he's very good at the whole SpaceX
true.
thing, right? As in, like, he's leading it in a way where it's bringing in the money. People aren't really like too iffy about it. Obviously, there are complaints. There are obviously always going to be complaints about anything and everything that anybody ever does. But someone once said that Elon Musk is using his leadership and his knowledge of companies that he has into Twitter. And that the difference between Twitter and Tesla, for example, is that obviously Tesla's like a car thing and Twitter's more of like a social media thing. And the reality is that he needs to change the way that he leads because he can't use the same leadership ways in both of these companies because they're very different. And so that's the kind of issue. Obviously, I'm not saying like Tesla is the most amazing thing ever.
But like,
there are faults in Tesla.
He had to resign.
But
he had to resign as chairman of the board.
Yeah,
in Tesla because like the board didn't like him.
I mean, yeah, because he's got very.
He's very impulsive. That's the problem, right?
His choices
you know about Dogecoin, right? So cryptocurrency. It's a cryptocurrency. It's a meme coin, which means it's like, it's just a meme coin. No particular value. Every time Elon Musk tweeted about Dogecoin in the past, Dogecoin went through the roof, and there was like literally jokes about it. Doge to the moon. Because it was just fucking skyrocketing. My friend invested some money into Dogecoin, and in a couple of months, because of Elon Musk, he took out 3 times as much money.
Nice.
So it tripled in value, which is ridiculous. That one man can have such an effect.
That one man is the way I see it is that he's a genius. He is, and you can't deny that. He's very smart in what he does.
Yes.
However, I think that he's pushing boundaries in ways that
He
people
shouldn't.
are not ready for
Yes.
those boundaries to be pushed.
He's definitely doing
So-
something. So, for example, I had to do like a presentation on a mask in high school, and I know, for example, did you know like he created PayPal?
Yeah.
He created PayPal. Like, he created some great things, but he's doing so many things at the same time. He's juggling so many companies. The Boring Company. He has that company, I think, I can't remember the name, the one that is trying to do a neural chip.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Like, he's trying to do that. Like, he has a lot of, like, weird projects as well. Like, yes, you have Tesla, and yes, you have SpaceX, but then he has all of these, like, weird-ass projects. Like, I think Solar City is one of them. It's like solar energy.
Right, yeah.
You barely hear
maybe.
anything about that. The only reason you heard about the Boring Company is because he did a product called Not a Flamethrower, which was a flamethrower.
Yeah, and every single like YouTuber that I ever watched during that period got a boring flamethrower. Like everyone was having these flamethrowers.
Yeah.
I mean, the only
Exactly, the
reason
problem is,
really why
I
Teslas
think-
are popular is because YouTubers were just like, yeah, let's get like a Tesla.
It's technically okay. So Tesla is, I think it's a very different thing. Tesla was a very pioneering, like the first really like large scale operation with electric vehicles, large scale manufacturing. However, since then Tesla has lost its edge. Tesla had 6 years ahead of its competitions, and now look at it, the biggest car brands, BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, like Toyota, all of these big
Oh,
car
yeah,
companies, Ford even,
they
they
are
are putting
producing
out so
cars
many
that are
electric
so
vehicles.
much better.
That's just they insane to. Another thing is like Tesla has not been without its fair share of controversies.
Oh,
Its
no,
full self-driving
100%.
features is still not like done. Elon Musk advertises as full self-driving.
It's
It
not.
is not.
No.
It causes accidents. And then second of all, you have to pay a subscription to get heated seats.
Oh, and airbags.
I don't know about airbags because I don't know about airbags
Or at least
in
they
the
were
UK.
talking about how
I
they were going to be.
think in the
The
UK
normal
they
version
might.
didn't come with airbags. You had to pay extra
I
to
think-
have airbags in your
I
car.
think the UK by safety law they might require to have airbags in front,
I think so.
but
I'm
not
not
at the
sure.
back.
I'm not sure.
But I don't know about the US. We don't know about the States. What the law is there. I think that would be really stupid if it came without airbags. I think surely at least on the not the passenger areas, but the driver and the
In the
the
front,
front
yeah,
seat,
yeah.
right? There should be at least
Something.
something,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, no. I mean, even if you look at Teslas, I don't know if you have the same thing, but like I will look at the different Teslas standing next to each other, and they just look like the exact same car to me.
Except the Cybertruck.
The Cybertruck is fucking hideous.
It's hideous. It is hideous. I would not get it.
I would not get it. But like, all of the cars are just the same.
Yeah.
Like this one's a little bigger, this one's a little smaller, this one has 7 seats, this one has 5, this one has like 5 normal doors, and guess what? This one has fucking wing doors. Like they are the same car. If you look at it,
I would
it is
not buy
the
a
same
Tesla.
car.
I'm honest to God, I would not buy a Tesla. If
I
I
mean,
want to buy a
there's-
proper electric vehicle,
I watched a
there's
guy.
so many better ones. Like there's so many like European small brands, like not the giants, like not Volkswagen, like small
Right.
brands that like specialize in electric vehicles, and they are insanely good. Like they are very luxurious and they are very very good. But although at the same time, yeah, you have like these large car brands like Jaguar is doing an electric vehicle. I think.
I think it is, yeah.
I think it might not be a full electric vehicle.
It might be a hybrid.
It might
I'm
be a
pretty
hybrid,
sure I
but
saw
it's-
an
it's
advert
like-
for it though.
There is I'm pretty sure, as I said, BMW, Volkswagen, they're definitely putting electric vehicles out.
Yeah,
Uh,
Toyotas.
Toyota's it's been the hybrid like game for years now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's not much of a deal for them to go to
to
full
now go
battery
into full
electric.
electric. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So like the thing is, I think the market has been so much richer now, more saturated with different types of electric vehicles. That at this point, I would not buy a Tesla.
I mean, also, like, I watched a video of this guy who was literally, like, he did a video on, like, the pros and the cons of Tesla. and like, just, I mean, the fact that if you need a part, like a Tesla part,
You need to take it to a Tesla shop, I think.
you need to take it to a Tesla shop. You can't do it yourself. You,
Yeah.
like, a lot of,
By the
like,
way,
you
we are-
can't just, you know, you can't just, like, go to, like, a garage and say, hey, look, my car's making a weird clickety-clack while I'm driving. Can you look into it?
Yeah.
The guy won't have the
tools
to open it. They won't have the actual
And this
things.
has been like a really big thing in Silicon Valley, to be fair.
I mean, in addition to all of that, can you imagine your car one day just orders itself its own tires? Like, the car just is like, oh, winter season, guess what? We need winter tires.
I mean,
Orders tires itself.
You know what's acceptable? Not ordering, but sending you a notification that, hey, listen, our analytics show that one of your parts might be misbehaving. Please take it to a nearby shop.
Agreed.
That's okay if you opt in to have analytics.
Yeah.
I think, but that's on me. But that's my opinion. Anyway, we went really far from Twitter.
We did.
We did.
We really shitted on Elon Musk there.
I mean, to be fair, I think in certain ways,
things that
he's a very controversial person. I think in certain ways, I think he's doing a lot of good. Like, for example, yes, with space exploration, he basically can. With like SpaceX, I can totally see a second wave of new like space exploration. Because let's be honest, NASA has been absolutely
useless.
Useless. Like it took them ages to build the the space launch system. I think that's the name. Yeah, the space launch system, which is the new rockets that gonna send people to the moon.
Right.
It took them ages to make, and it's like 10 years later at this point. I think they just tested it last like couple of months ago. I'm not actually sure about that. But anyway.
Speaking of big corpos, though, Apple.
Actually, Silicon Valley, yeah. So, to our listeners, we are currently available on certain podcast platforms. That includes Spotify, Google Podcasts, I think very soon. If not already by this time this episode releases. Amazon Music, for sure. We are on, Anchor's on Player, which is owned by Spotify anyway. And then
we're on a couple of places. Except.
And then
drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. Apple. Now, we tried. All right, we tried. I tried, and
I didn't do anything.
You were cooking in the kitchen.
I was cooking, yeah.
So I go and I'm like, okay, hey, listen, it's time to release episode 1. Let's release it. And I'm like, okay, we need to create an Apple podcast, like Apple ID account. By the way, I'm not an Apple fan. I don't like the brand.
No, me neither.
I used to work on a Mac, and even though it's like sometimes it's really nice, it had so many weird things, and I just couldn't get over it. So
yeah, like especially if you get used to it.
I bought myself I used it for 7-8 months. Like I had time to get used to it.
Yeah.
First of all, I couldn't get used to the keyboard. Like that's just wank.
That's where I'm going. Like if you are used to like a Windows keyboard or like the standard keyboard that everybody else uses apart from Apple, then going onto an Apple product that has completely different buttons, like different control aspects.
They still have a control button, you know that, right? So they have control, and then they have a button called command. And then copying is not Control C, it's Command C.
It's stupid.
It's stupid.
Not to mention
especially I'm a software developer, so in Terminal we have this thing. Especially I use the Linux operating system. I use Ubuntu as my daily driver. I do have a Windows machine. I use it for gaming, but for like general like tasks, I use Ubuntu because nothing beats it for me. Definitely. I could just say that in Ubuntu, in Terminal, if you want to close a running program, you can press Ctrl C if you end it. So I went to Mac and I started developing on a Mac, and I was like, I guess, if it's Control C is copy, and now it's Command C, then I think the shutdown command is also Command C.
Right.
Turns out it's still Control C.
Oh, so they haven't changed.
They haven't
everything.
changed haven't changed everything. So, for example, the terminal shortcuts are still Control C,
Right.
which
the
technically is
inconsistencies.
very helpful because every time in Linux you want to copy something from a terminal, you have to press Control Shift C. But anyway, so my problem is the Mac ecosystem is probably really convenient if you own only Mac devices.
Agreed. Yeah.
So if you have a MacBook, an iPhone, an Apple Watch, and like everything is Apple you own, it's probably can do everything for you. And honestly, this is my opinion. Please don't get offended, but I think Apple devices are for grandmas because they're dumb. They don't let the users. I think one of my friends put it the best. They are for loser users.
Oof.
Loser users because
You know how I said that we're gonna get cancelled? This is the one.
this is the place I'm gonna get cancelled, right? Yeah. No, so yeah, this is what my friend said. But I think they're just for grandmas. They are very limited. So you can only do what Apple allows you to do. And I feel that's a problem. Like if I own a computer, I want to be able to break that. Like
Yeah.
not intentionally, but like even if intentionally, like I want to be able to experiment, go outside. But like for example, on Windows, you can do things. You can even delete the entire operating system with a press of a button. I don't think you can do that on Mac. I'm not saying it's a good thing because
Yeah.
it's a constant prank.
But yeah, so anyway, we tried to get ourselves on Apple Podcasts.
Okay, so this is
because
what
we're really not sticking to
Because
the
we have a couple of friends who use Apple Music, I think.
I don't
And
know,
I'm like,
why are
why?
they not using fucking Spotify? Let's
It's
be
bad, it's
realistic. Like,
Anyway, so the process goes: you create an Apple ID,
yeah.
you have to verify your email, get a 6-digit email like code on your email.
Okay.
That's fine. Then as step 2, you have to verify your phone number.
Oh, lovely.
Now you get another 6-digit code.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, this is stupid. But you know, at this point, this is verification. It makes sense. Go
yeah,
on.
like you want it to be safe.
Yeah.
So it's good that there's so many
It's
things.
good.
Yeah.
It's good. It verifies that it is indeed you. The problem I have is this. I click next. And then it prompts me to sign in. Now I just created my account and verified that it is me. So why do I have to now sign in? And then it's sign in, it sends me another freaking verification code that to prove that it is me. You can check my IP. I created my account 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I'm signing in from the same IP. I click remember me. We try to create a podcast. And it says, oh, you have to activate your Apple ID until you can't add your podcast. And I'm like, fine. I thought I did that already. But anyway, I go to click on one of the Apple links. And then I was like, it's like help.apple, I don't know, one of the URLs they have. It's like, I'm like, why am I not sign in? I have to sign in again. So I don't know how Apple did not figure this out. It's called single sign-on. It means you can sign in once, and then there is a server that stores that you're signed in, and then first of all, when you go to a different page, that server can check if you're signed in. You have an active sign-in session.
Yeah.
I don't know how they messed this up so bad, but I had to sign into every single page I tried to access, and then I go and I was like, finally find out that I needed to add my payment information, and I was like, fine, Apple, have my card, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then I go add my payment information, and I get an error saying that payment information could not be added. Please contact Apple support. And this is the point where we decided to give up.
Yeah.
Because we tried this card 5-6 times. There's initially no error message or anything. It's just, oh, something went wrong. And I'm like, how is one of the biggest tech giants in this world unable to figure out good user experience?
Yeah.
Like, God, is it because I tried from a Linux device and not from one of their fancy devices? Possibly. I don't know. But we are not doing Apple Music, at least for now. I'm just way too, honestly.
Way too angry about that. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
It's a very passionate rant. I think this is gonna make it as a separate clip.
Yeah, we need like a. Let's talk about something a little more chill.
A little more chill. Yeah.
Do you know who the Tinder swindler is?
I actually do not.
Do you not?
I do not.
Okay. So for Mark and all of our Tinder swindler not knowings,
I think I've heard the name, but I don't know who it is.
Okay, so
I don't
it's
want to say I knew something stupid.
So it's this guy who basically had a Tinder.
Yeah.
And lived this billionaire lavish lifestyle. He told the girls that he spoke with that he is the son of a diamond king from Israel.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, listeners. But essentially, he advertised himself as a millionaire. You know, like his Instagram, he like posted pictures on a private jet and like going to all these countries and all those holidays and like with like Rolexes and like Louboutins and like fancy cars and whatever.
Right. So basically, is this like a similar story to the person who pretended to be like an heiress and got jailed?
So now listen. So this guy ended up. He's called a Tinder swindler because he predominantly used Tinder.
Right, yeah.
And what happened was he would chat to a girl, take her on a holiday, or like take her to a country that he would say that he's currently doing business in. He would have a great time with this girl. She, you know, got to sit in a private jet, got taken by like private car into this private amazing hotel that was like 5 stars, and like he would make the girl fall in love, and she would very quickly fall in love, and then
she would very quickly fall in love with the money.
Yeah, the lavish lifestyle. I mean, essentially they're all gold diggers. You can't put it past them. Anyway. They would fall in love with this lifestyle, the way that he was, the way that he spoke. Basically, his money, any excuse goes. He could be the ugliest man ever, but apparently he has loads of money. Girls who are into that are into that. And then the trouble would happen. So he would then say that, like, oh, someone is after me. I can't use my card because... they will find me. Can you open a bank account for me? And like, can you send me money because I can't use my card?
Yeah.
Followed by
so basically, he's doing wire fraud.
And it's obviously every single time he's like, oh, I'll obviously pay you back. You know, like don't worry about the money. Like it's completely fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's like. So I sort of understand the concept. He's probably has enough money to buy these hotels.
So listen, no.
Okay.
So the actual situation is that it's basically a domino effect. So the girl number 2 is going on this lavish holiday because he swindled girl number 1.
Right.
So all of the money that he got from girl number 1... he is using on girl number 2.
Right.
Girl number 2 then gives him money, and then that goes to girl number 3, right?
So he basically had enough money to take this first girl into like a semi-lavish holiday, probably, and then got enough. So probably he started from like small fraud and went up to pretty big.
Like to the point where like some of these girls were in like hundreds of thousands of pounds of debt, and like countries were like looking for him, and like he ended up obviously using a fake name.
Yeah.
There was like a whole, like, if you googled him, he like actually existed. He was actually the son of like the Diamond King or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he went by like a pseudonym and whatever, and he like, you know, swindled
I wonder
these
if he
girls.
got the idea from How I Met Your Mother.
No, but
show,
listen,
like,
right?
Have you watched How I Met Your Mother?
Partially, yeah.
Yeah, partially. There's an episode where Barney creates the Lorenzo von Matterhorn play. Basically, he creates a bunch of fake websites about him, saying that he's an adventurer, he's a very rich person, and then he finds someone in a bar with a phone, and he's like, oh, yeah, it's me, Lorenzo von Matterhorn. Oh, you really don't recognize me. And he leaves, and then he knows that the next thing is gonna be the person's gonna Google them, who the hell this was, and then the chick, and then they're like, he's gonna come back. I tell him and say, like, sorry, I hate to be direct, but can I buy your coffee? And they were like instantly like, oh yes. So I wonder if he got the idea from here.
Maybe, I don't know. Now listen to this. There was a Netflix series about this guy. Like, I think like maybe 10 episodes, maybe not.
I might have missed it. Probably missed it.
Probably, I don't know. And it basically talks about like, oh, this girl talks about her experience and like how much money she lost.
So it's
and
a documentary.
Then this girl talks about her experience and how much money she lost, and then how like this one girl like met this woman on this plane who had a child, who then turns out that the child is actually his child and whatever, but like messy stuff. Messy. Now, this was like last year, maybe the year before. I think it was like peak COVID when the Netflix thing came out.
Because obviously he couldn't have done this over COVID because restrictions and shit.
Yeah, obviously. So COVID comes out, this series comes out. Now, he's pretty famous now.
Okay.
So like
you probably can't get away with this now because
if you Google his name, the first thing that pops up is the Tinder swindler. Like he's got a reputation now. So he has swindled again.
Oh, come on, how did somebody fall for it?
Listen to this. No, listen to this.
No.
This is literally the title of the news article.
Okay.
Israeli woman says Tinder swindler fooled her even after she watched the documentary.
God, no. Honey.
You know what she said? She said that like she watched the documentary, but she didn't think that he would do it to her.
Oh my God. How can you be so naive? I'm sorry.
Followed by a literal quote from her. He doesn't look like a criminal.
I mean, that's like saying that, like, I don't know, a serial killer, but he looks adorable.
She said that, like, he told her that it was all fake and it wasn't true, and that, like, he didn't actually do that to these people, and and all of this.
I mean,
and at the end of it, guess how much money she lost?
I'm gonna say £500,000.
$130,000.
Well, that was a bit overmuch, but then
like,
$130,000.
can you imagine?
That is so much money. I don't earn it. I think I earn about that amount, actually a bit more, in 5 years. That's fine. And like that is like before taxes.
Yeah.
Like with taxes, probably 5 years. Like,
can you imagine?
That is insane. Did she take out a loan?
Oh yeah, all of them take out loans for him. Yeah. No, they don't have all this money in their bank accounts.
So basically now they are like there for the rest of life. They have to, because they took this out legally, right? So they have to spend,
they have
like,
to now
actually pay back
pay
the
her
loan.
back. Yeah, obviously, and he's not going to pay her back. No, it's hilarious. She watched the documentary. She saw what happened to these girls. Oh, because he's in this one country that basically they said that this hasn't happened in their country, and therefore they have no reason to put him in jail. He might have been in jail
Right.
for like a short period of time. I'm not 100%
He
sure.
probably swindled in somebody to pay his, like...
I mean, to be fair,
like,
I didn't
money to
really
get to-
follow the story after the documentary. My only thing is that, like, he is another fucking genius. I mean, it's genius. I mean, you can't put it any other way. It's fucking genius. Like, also, how stupid must you be to literally, like, talk to a guy on Twitter or on Tinder,
Who you saw a
documentary about where all of these women are crying, talking about how they loved him and wanted a life with him. This one woman bought a fucking house in Amsterdam.
Jesus.
And, like...
I mean, at least with that you can, like...
I mean, yeah,
get money because you can rent it out.
I mean, yeah, but
she's
she's in debt from buying a house that she didn't really need. You know, like, and it's, you know, it's on a fucking Netflix show, and this woman watched the Netflix show, and then proceeded to get swindled anyway. I'm not gonna lie to you, but like, I am so glad I am not on Tinder because that sounds wild.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tinder,
I was gonna say, speaking of Tinder,
here is our segment.
Here's our first Chadventures segment. I'm not sure if this is gonna be a weekly segment, because I mean, I actually have been hitting a dry spell in like funny bios, but
that's fair enough.
But
you can't have it all.
We'll see. But anyway, let's roll the intro to Chadventures. Right, okay. Number 1. Do you want to see them or do you want to read them out?
Well, does the photo help with the bio?
Right, so it's not always... I don't always have photo.
Read it out then.
Right, okay, I shall read it out. Number 1. Dating me is like IKEA furniture. Hard to understand, not well put together, and ever so slightly unstable, but aesthetically pleasing, enough to show your friends.
I love that. I'm not gonna lie to you, I love that.
I think it's brilliant.
You know what else would be really funny? If she said something along the lines of
Swedish.
along the lines of like that she's actually Swedish, or I don't know if you've ever noticed on the front of like the instruction manuals to IKEA, it usually says like this is like a 2-man job. It would have been funny if she said something along the lines of that.
Yeah, well, no, this is a good one, I think.
I like that one. That one's really good.
That one's really good. Next one. Some of you scare me more than I scare myself, and that's a bold statement. It's just... figured it was...
well, it's not as good as the IKEA one. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know, I think that's...
You really started off with like you raised the bar
a really good
instantly.
One, right?
I mean it's funny, but like
okay, right. Next one. What's your favorite kind of bread? Pierced titties taste like house keys, and there's no place like home, baby.
Okay, let's unravel that one while you look for the next picture. I'm gonna unravel that one. So first of all, it starts with, what is your favourite bread?
I don't know if I have a favourite bread. But wait. I'll answer this in a Subway manner. Italian herbs and cheese.
Agreed.
Italian herbs and cheese.
Italian herbs and cheese all the way. But, like, I wouldn't say it's my favourite. I mean, it's my go-to with Subway, but, like, is it my favourite type of bread?
I don't know.
It's kind of like going, what is... No, to be fair, I can choose my favourite cheese.
Well,
I know what my favourite cheese is, but like bread is such a weird one. Also,
it's like, what is your favourite type of pasta? I think like pasta is pasta, right?
Pasta is pasta. I don't really give a shit. Like
it's just like whether it's like a penne or like a spaghetti. After all, it's just like we use it for different dishes, but it's still pasta.
It's just pasta, yeah,
same.
nothing really changes, right? I agree. The only difference is that if you do like the normal pasta or like the whole wheat one, you know, the brown one with like that's like healthy. I think but then that's the same with bread. You get the white normal bread, and then you get the brown disgusting like bread with like all the nuts and seeds in it, and it's just weird. Why would you do that, right? Also, pierced nipples taste like house keys.
Pierced titties taste like house keys. Yes.
First of all, that is good to know. Just for the sole purpose that I've been really wanting to pierce a nipple. Also, this is completely off the thing. Our tongue is so weird.
A tongue?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. For example, we have a brown paper bag in front of us. Your brain knows exactly what this would feel like if you licked it.
I do, yes.
Or like this lamp.
I know how it would taste like.
You know exactly what it would feel like on your tongue. You've never licked the lamp. You've never licked the paper bag. I don't.
Not that one.
Not. But like you know exactly what it would feel like.
I had to grab McDonald's bags in my mouth to carry.
Okay.
So
okay.
I have a more memory of that, but
sure. But like I mean, or even just Like, have you noticed that you could literally look at anything and your brain knows exactly what it would feel like in your mouth?
Pretty much, yes. Pretty much.
Bizarre. So the fact that but also, does that mean that she tasted her own nipple that was pierced?
Or she was told.
Or she was told.
We don't know. Or she tasted somebody else's.
Or she tasted somebody else's, and that is drama. That is something we would like to know. Yeah. Okay, next one.
It's not that good, but we go for it.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but
Same.
I know it involves lots of alcohol and Netflix.
Same.
Okay, that was just relatable. Okay, next one.
I mean, let's be honest, you and your fucking cocktail making abilities.
Yeah.
I have a housemate jackpot. And that's it.
Pretty much. Okay.
And am I going to be an alcoholic at the end of it? Probably. Am I going to need to go to rehab? Probably. I'm okay with that.
Okay, good. No. Right, next one.
Mm-hmm.
If you're lucky, you can do to me what Liz Truss did to the economy.
Go down on you? Is that what it is?
Ruin you?
Ruin you?
Like, I don't know.
Put you in debt? I like the thought behind that, but like Liz Truss did a lot of things to the UK, and I don't know if I would like to do a lot of those things or someone to do a lot of those things to me. You know?
Yeah. There's this one.
Mm-hmm.
Can't choose your father, but you can choose your daddy. Might teach you Spanish.
Might teach you Spanish at the end. You know what would have been funny? If she said papi instead of daddy. Like, you don't choose your daddy, or like you don't choose your like father, but you can choose your papi.
Yeah, right. Next one is...
I like that one.
I refuse to turn the heating on, so I'm looking for a human radiator. Same.
Although my boyfriend complains that when we sleep and like I'm too close to him, that I'm too warm. And then my concern is that I'm really cold, so I come closer to him.
You know, like Neil deGrasse Tyson broke this down in his podcast that you cannot be just the right temperature if there's two people under one blanket.
Oh, 100%.
You cannot be the right temperature. Like one person is either too cold or too warm. There's no place on both of you at the right temperature. You might be at the right temperature, but then your boyfriend is not.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Right.
God, I lost
relationship problems, God.
I mean, you can't have relationship problems if you don't have relationships.
That's true. See, yeah. No, to be fair, he wants to have two separate duvets.
Right.
And I don't like the idea. Like, I've been brought up in a house where if you sleep in a bed together, you have one duvet, full stop.
So, next profile.
I know,
profile.
I'm the worst.
If not, oh, that's okay. If you date, I promise I won't blame you for the bad decisions you make in my dreams.
I'm not gonna lie. That is a good one. That is a very good one. Like, I get angry at my boyfriend, if I wake up and he like did something bad in my dream, I am not in a happy mood for half the day. Like, I need to digest that.
It's just so weird. It's just so weird in my opinion.
No, it is weird. Obviously, it's really weird.
Like,
but
like the thing is, you could commit genocide in my dreams, and I wouldn't be mad at you. Like, my point is, like, it's a dream. It's not real.
yeah, but like the issue with dreams is that usually your brain curates it, and
It's very random though.
Yeah, but in a lot of cases, your dreams are actually what you believe that person would think,
Right.
say, right? It's essentially what your brain made up. So, like, if you know someone very, very well, your dream about them, regardless of how weird it is, will actually be what they would do in that dream. Right? So, for example, you're being chased by a dragon who, instead of, like, blowing fire at you, is blowing marshmallows, and I don't know, and I'm running next to you and I trip you up in your dream.
Or just
the reality is that I probably would have actually tripped you up. Like, if you know me well enough, your brain will actually create this dream that basically is like, not obviously the truth because it's a dream, but it will be a good representation of that one person. Speaking of dreams, I don't know if you've ever heard about this thing. There are now people who are doing this thing where obviously you're unconscious in your dream, but a lot of people are going conscious in their dream and basically asking somebody what the time is. Apparently it's the scariest thing that you can ever do in your dream. You need to obviously be aware to ask someone what the time is, but apparently you're not allowed to ask someone for the time in your dream. That one person will honestly watch a TikTok about it or like a YouTube video about it. It is insane. Every single person that has done it has the same experience. Obviously slightly different because it's dream situated, but it'll be like someone shouting at them going, "You don't ask what time it is, like you're not allowed to do that," and then they like wake up and shit. Like, it is insane. So the way I see it is that your dreams are
it's really difficult. It's really difficult to go conscious in a dream, right? Like,
it's called lucid dreaming.
Okay.
It's not it takes training, I guess. It's not something that you can just do out of the blue.
Right.
Some people can. Some people are very good at that. It's more of the case of you are sleeping, but your brain is aware that you're sleeping.
Fair enough.
And that's it. Because when you're actually dreaming, you're not actually aware that you're dreaming. But in lucid dreaming, your brain is going, "Oh, but I'm dreaming. Therefore, I am in control of the dream." So you won't have like something scary because you're in control of the dream. Your brain is aware of that. So you can just go, "Well, wait a second, I can just think about something different because I'm in control of my dream."
Yeah.
And like, that's basically what people are doing. So they're basically lucid dreaming where they are in control to some extent. And then they're going, "Hey, what's the time?" And then shit goes crazy and then
so basically if somebody
people are coming up with like stories being like, "Oh, I think it like our dreams are like a simulation of like the reality," or like you fall asleep and you go into like a different dimension and like and shit. Like, people are going, there's so much to unravel with that one. It's
well,
insane.
anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
So what you were saying is, if somebody says that to me, that they won't be mad. That's a really good catch. Okay. Anyway, next up. This profile goes to your university.
Ooh, to my uni, nice.
Yes.
Instant swipe right.
2 girls looking for fit best friends to go on double dates with. Don't match if no double date on the cards. I'm very fit. I fit in a hole, but like I'm like in a round shape, so.
I don't know what to feel about that one. That one's really weird.
It's weird. I just put it in there because I thought it was weird.
It is very weird. I mean, I totally understand people who want to like have threesomes and shit and like advertise it on Tinder and be like looking for a third. I kind of get that, but like looking for someone to go on double dates with, just admit that you have been third wheeling this couple
No.
for a year.
No. Basically, they're both single and they're looking for 2 dates.
Just take yourself. Fuck off. Don't waste people's time.
Like, they
Next.
want to go on double dates. They want to hang out and they want 2 guys to pay for them. That's it.
I mean, yeah, that's shit. Next.
Oh, we'll come back to that. With my pint rant.
Okay.
Okay, next one. If you mention anything about zodiac signs, it's over. I put it down because finally, like, I don't understand the obsession of zodiac signs.
I agree. No, I have a friend who at a party questioned what my star sign was, then asked me what my boyfriend's star sign was, and then proceeded to, for the next hour, talk to me about how based on my 2 star signs that we are actually incompatible and we probably shouldn't be in a relationship together and it probably will not work out.
Ridiculous.
And I was just like, no, because that's not how it works. And like, just because I'm a Sagittarius does not mean that I'm a bad partner or like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's got nothing to do with it.
Right.
Completely nothing. Someone just like came up with this bullshit.
Okay, this one is long.
Ooh,
this one is long. They call me 007. 0 money, 0 pussy, 7 suicide attempts. Mental ill, tatted and a big rack. Liverpool, England. Subtitles not included. No Tories! Exclamation mark. Need someone to go to Disney World, please. Here for DILFs or MILFs. Learning Duolingo, please help keep the Angry Bird happy. 5-1. I don't know what LFC is. LFC, red dot. I don't know what that is.
Leeds Soccer Club? Liverpool Soccer Club?
I don't know. Liverpool Football Club? I don't know. Favorite F1 driver is Lightning McQueen. I would probably most definitely choose Harry Styles over you. What do you think?
Okay, give me a phone because there's a lot to unpack. First of all, they call me 007.
Yeah.
0 money, 0 pussy, 7 suicide attempts. The 0 pussy, is it a man then?
No, this is a woman.
How does she have 0 pussy? Does that mean that she has a penis?
I don't know.
Because that's weird.
This was a woman's profile.
The 7 suicide attempts, I like it. I like self-deprecating jokes, or like jokes where like you're basically making fun of yourself. I like those. Those are rare though. Those are good. Mentally ill, tatted, a big rat. A big rat.
Big rack.
A big rack. I mean, big tits. Sure.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. I like how she talked about subtitles not included because she's from Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean that accent is awful.
I love that accent. I wouldn't want to hear it every day all the time. Love the accent though. Okay, need someone to go to Disney World, please. Sure. But maybe like Disneyland. Go to Paris. I wouldn't really take someone all the way to Florida to Disney World. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, bit expensive.
Nah.
Like, is she really worth it? Learning Duolingo, please help keep the Angry Bird happy. Yeah, I mean, I like that because I remember having Duolingo and the fucking bird was...
Oh yeah, the bird gave up on me because I tried
The bird gave up on me eventually as well, yeah.
I tried to learn Polish and I gave up after like 2 weeks. I was like, nah, it's not happening.
No, I don't blame you.
And I tried to learn, because on Duolingo, fun fact, you can learn High Valyrian. So I tried to learn that so I could understand what they actually speak in Game of Thrones without having the subtitles. Anyway, you need 2 fingerprints because it's in a private.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and then the favourite Formula driver is Lightning McQueen. I like that. That is funny.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. Did you swipe on her?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I don't remember if I swiped on any of these like profiles, not gonna lie to you.
Fair enough.
I've been collecting them for a while.
Make it the last one. So make it good.
Well, okay, 1 second. Okay. Small tits, big liver, brain dead, but give good head.
I like it, Picasso. That is a good one. That is a really good one. I need to take notes. Okay, so
that's Chadventures. I'm
That's
not sure.
Chadventures.
I don't think we're gonna have an outro, so I think we can just go straight into a related topic, which is my technically 3-pint rant.
ooh, yeah.
So, on Thursday, I was out with some friends. We did a pub quiz, and then after that, we went to a different place.
It was a work-related pub quiz.
It was a work-related pub quiz. It was with work friends. We went out. We went after that to a different bar. I will not name the bar, but it was good. And as we get in,
It was good, but it was pricey.
No. The second one was
Or
not.
was that
Like,
not
the
the
second
pricey
one?
one?
The second one, you got 2 pints for $6.50.
Oh,
So it was really good.
The other one charged you like 10 quid for a pint.
Like
and
no,
I think
it was
that
six. It's £6 for a pint.
That is still atrocious.
It's atrocious, yes. So, what is basically happened? As I got in, one of my friends called. They basically we just had like a quick chat with them, 5 minutes, and till then, my colleagues went over to order, and I got back, and they're like, "Oh, there they are." And what I see is 2 of my colleagues are standing at the bar, and there is a guy and there's a really drunk girl flirting with my colleagues.
Okay.
Right, and I go there, and I just hear the girl wants to do a shot race.
Ooh.
So I go, and they're like, she points at me and is like, I want to race him. And like, my colleague is like, I wouldn't, he's European.
Yeah.
Like-
I'm not gonna lie to you, that was her first mistake.
no, okay, wait. So, like, I'm like, okay, shot race, I don't want to do it, right? It's fine. I went around them and I ordered myself 2 pints.
Okay.
I got the 2 pints, and then she comes up to me. Keep in mind that the guy who was there was her boyfriend.
Okay.
Like, she was very heavily flirting with everybody in front of her boyfriend. Her boyfriend,
Maybe it was a turn on for him.
I don't know, but the boyfriend was like, did not care whatsoever. So the girl comes over me and she's like, you know what, let's do a shot race. I bet I can finish it for you. Like, finish it before you. And, yeah, like let's do it. And absolutely, if you win, I'll get you a pint. If I win, you get me a bottle of champagne.
Okay.
They didn't have champagne in this bar.
Okay.
So I was like, sure. Like, the bartender looked at me, is like, do it. So she's like, okay, let's do 3 shots. And then I was like, okay, 3 each? Was like, no, 3 in total. I'm like, how does that work? Turns out there's 3 of us in the race, and we had to race how quick we can drink 1 shot. And then the third one was her boyfriend. So I buy the 3 shots. And, I mean, she had a choice of drink.
Okay.
And she chose sour cherry shots.
Nice. Good choice.
And I'm like, really? And that's not even, it doesn't even hit.
It's not even alcoholic.
It's not even alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like, she can do like, I can do a sour cherry shot before you. And I'm like, what the hell? So we go 3, 2, 1. I down my shot like pretty easy. Like, I have to practice. She took like a bit longer than I did, and she had a little bit left in her like cup.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about if I mix up pronouns. Sorry, I'm not a native speaker. I'm not a native speaker.
I'm really trying to like hear them so I can like catch you out on them. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm doing my
I
best.
did catch myself.
I know, you did. Well done. 10
Well done.
points.
But yeah, so what happens is my colleague, like she's like, no, I won. My colleague like calls her out, like, hey, no, like, you didn't even finish it. And, like, she pours it out on the counter, and then she pretends that she's gonna lick it up. Her tongue was like this close, like just half a centimeter off the counter. That she's gonna lick it up.
Oh, that's
But
vile.
then she admitted that, okay, you won. You can have your pint once you finish one of your pints. And I was like, cool. So she was like, I'll sit down there. Just come knock on me. Like, knock on my shoulder when you want your pint. And I was like, that's fair, you know. So we do that. I sit down, talk to my friends, finish my pint, and I go up to her like, hey, listen, finish my pint. Can you get me this one? And then, just in the meantime, grab it, put that on the table, I'm going to go to the toilet. And she's like, okay. So I went to the toilet, come back, no pint. What the hell? So I see her, she's outside. And I'm like, hey, where's my pint? And she's like, oh no, like, I can't get your pint because I'm leaving, but here is a vape. And she tries to stuff her vape into my mouth. I don't smoke, I don't vape. For those who are listening. So I was like, Nana, we had an agreement. We agreed on a pint. And she's like, oh, but I can't get it for you. I'm leaving. And I was like, oh. Well, everybody, she doesn't keep her promises. And I walked away, basically.
Nice.
Literally, 10 minutes later, she walks in, sits down at the table next to us, and starts to do the exact same short routine with those guys. But oh, to be fair, she like, okay, it wasn't just a promise, it was a pinky promise.
Oh, did you have a gun?
We did
a
lock
knife?
again.
A knife. If she breaks a pinky promise, do you need to chop her pinky off?
I did not have a knife on me, I'm sorry.
Disgusting.
But she did break a pinky promise, and I'm very angry about it.
That is disgusting.
I'm angry about it I didn't get my free pint. But the thing is, right, she did the exact same thing to these guys. I was like, I'm not gonna tell these guys, I'm sorry. Like, if they like do this, they deserve it. I deserved it. But what was really weird is, like, she was very openly, like, flirting with everybody. And, like, her boyfriend didn't mind it at all. And I'm just baffled that, why? Like, if I had a girlfriend that did this, like, that would be an instant breakup. Probably. Like, I'm sorry, but what the hell are you doing?
The only way I wouldn't break up is if I had something out of it.
So the thing is, the boyfriend,
like,
right?
If she was betting, but I was getting a free drink.
Right. So no, the boyfriend.
Then I'd be like, fuck
the boyfriend got the shot as well, right? Because I bought 3 shots. Though I was told by my colleagues, oh, the boyfriend didn't drink it. He just poured it down on the ground, on the floor.
What a waste.
And put it down. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, the boyfriend was not, like, I don't think he was drunk.
I mean, maybe he knew how drunk she gets, so he chose to be sober.
I don't know, but it's like, or I don't know, like, I don't know, it might be an arrangement that, oh yeah, you go chat up guys and get yourself free drinks because I'm broke. I don't know, like, that could be an agreement, but it's not something as me as a like a guy who's like single, and if I were in a relationship, that's not something I would like.
Yeah.
Like, not gonna lie to you, I found it super weird. I don't know, what are your thoughts about this?
I don't know. It's weird.
Oh yeah, like, okay,
the way I see it
just
is...
before
right.
you give your opinion, I told some of this story to Alex before, and she said, why didn't you get her number? And I told her that I was not for her number from the beginning, because she looked like, something that, like, she was really, like, hot and pretty, if I'm honest.
Uh-huh.
But she was, like, not a person who I would, like, been in a relationship with.
Fair enough.
Like, you could tell that she was not, like, the faithful type.
Right, yeah, I mean, obviously, clearly.
Yeah. Right,
the way I see it, okay.
So I went for, like, I saw an opportunity to get a free pint really easily.
Yeah, and then you got swindled.
Then I got swindled. And I'm not happy.
No, okay, the way I see it is, I mean, it was shitty, but then again, like, you don't really lose much.
I lost £6, that's it.
It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, right?
I mean, it's shitty on her part because, personally, I think that she should have...
Got the pint at least.
Got the pint. Or if she said that she was leaving, she should have fucking left.
Or, like, do like, hey, listen, or like, you know, if you're, like, flirting with people, Because she was clearly flirting. Like, I don't deny that. She was clearly flirting.
Yeah.
Right? Or at least, like, say that, oh, I can't get your point. How about I give you my number instead? Or something. Like, that would have been an acceptable trade.
The way that
Boyfriend wouldn't have liked it, most likely.
The way I see it mainly is that I think that the boyfriend found it hot.
You think the boyfriend found it hot?
Yeah, like...
Do you think that
like
the boyfriend...
the fact that
do you think the boyfriend was turned on by jealousy?
I think, or maybe the whole aspect of like, oh yeah, I have a really hot girlfriend, and like all of these guys want a piece of the girlfriend, and she's kind of not really interested in them, kind of thing. Maybe in that aspect, I wouldn't because what kind of boyfriend in their right mind
allow this, right?
Would allow for their girlfriend to like walk around a bar, offer these like flirt with people openly,
but it's like,
then bet for like pints, which she won't buy any. So like, and the reality is that all of these guys are falling for her because she's hot, she's pretty, she's drunk, right? I feel like the boyfriend probably, it must be like a kink, surely.
I don't know. Anyway,
it's a weird situation. I don't know. I mean, you lost £6, and
yeah.
The reality is that, you know what, next time you do that, you should probably like get her to be like
buy the
pint straight away, and just be like, oh, actually those pints are not for me anyway, so I'll have the pint now. Just fucking up 3 pints. That's probably what you should have done.
Yeah.
So the reality is that it's kind of on you.
Yeah.
You were probably more sober than she was.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The fact that she was really sober and fucking swindled you. The fact that she was really drunk and you were really sober and she still managed to swindle you. That came out better.
Yeah.
I think that's a little embarrassing for you.
It is a bit embarrassing. But anyway, I'm still angry about it a bit. So.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. It's more of a thing that she broke a pinky promise.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like if I won, I would have like if she won, I would have stood I said, okay, I did the bet. I would have bought a bottle of champagne, which the bar did not serve, so I wouldn't have bought anything most likely. But she would have chose something else.
Maybe then you would have been like, look, they don't sell champagne.
Like how about I get you
a
gin and tonic or something instead?
Yeah, how about I get you something different, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
yeah. Anyway, next topic.
Yeah,
which one do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the other place where we're gonna get. So at this point, the fact that we just mentioned Qatar, this is where our podcast is gonna get banned in Qatar.
That's fine.
Anyway, so
the World Cup.
The World Cup is happening for those who you're not football fans, like I am.
And me.
We are not football fans.
We're not football fans. However, the World Cup is really, really popular currently, for all of the bad reasons.
Okay, so just one thing about that. We went to the L Trail yesterday. The L Trail is like a pub crawl across towns. It's really fun. Hit us up for the proper route. I'm happy to share. But everyone who's listening to this already knows because you were there, guys. Like,
they might still want to hit you up for the trail. You don't know. Anyway, so we ended up in stop 3, and we were hungry, right? We wanted to get food, and I remembered from last year, because we did the exact same route last year around this time, that they had amazing grilled cheese sandwiches and some like hot dogs and stuff, and I asked them, do you guys have food? And they're like, nah, we have had our food, kitchen shut down for the week because we are preparing for the World Cup. Huh. They had a whole tent up and everything because they're expecting so much traffic. Mm-hmm. They had to get their kitchen prepped. Right.
It's insane. I think it starts tomorrow.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
The opening ceremony happened today.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So the World Cup.
World Cup. There's multiple controversies, I would say. The first one is, in
housing
Qatar,
situation.
Qatar, I would say, in Qatar, I think the first one would be is, it's not like it's an invest in civilization that, segregation based on like gender is still a thing.
That is going to be so annoying for all of our listeners who are going to be hearing you
Oh my
play
God.
with the beanbag.
Oh, is it? Do you think it's actually? Can you hear? Me?
Probably.
I mean, if they can hear me breathing, that's probably being picked up. Oh my God. Okay, it's gonna be so annoying. I just give a little ASMR there.
Anyway, back to Qatar. So yes, it's not a Western civilization.
I think it's like, I might be wrong in this. Like, if I am, please correct me. But as far as like, they have still very religious laws regarding alcohol.
Well, it's a Muslim.
It's a Muslim country, right? It's very
haram,
religious.
So
yeah, so I think they have like very like strictly religious like clothing for women and stuff like that. So in the England team, especially its captain Harry Kane, is planning to wear the One Love armband.
Yep.
Which is
they asked if that is okay.
They asked if it was okay, and they said
but
no.
But they didn't come back to them.
Oh, didn't?
No. So he's.
I thought they came back to him and said no.
No, so they didn't come back to the UK to say that they can or they can't. And then England turned around and said, well, they didn't get back to us, but regardless of what they say, we are still going to wear it. And whether we get fined or not, we don't care because we are still going to be wearing it.
And the whole point is the World Cup is, it's not meant to be like the home country enforcing their culture on other teams.
Agreed.
It's meant to be a culture of a celebration. It's a sports event where multiple cultures meet, and it's to be a multicultural event.
It's a multicultural event.
That's the whole thing is. Like, which is what I don't understand. The other thing is the beer ban, right?
Heineken.
It's Budweiser, actually.
Oh,
Budweiser is the one that got banned. Budweiser is the main sponsor.
Well, it might be Budweiser, it might be Heineken. I'm not 100% sure.
Budweiser.
One of the beers, they ended up having thousands of bottles and cans of beer transported to Qatar in preparation for the World Cup, because they were like, well, what do men like to do when they watch football? Drink beer. Obviously, we need a lot of beer, right? And it's Qatar. It's not like they can just, buy it there kind of thing. They needed to transport it. Well, you're not allowed to buy beer.
So you are
in the stadium, and you are not allowed to drink in public.
Yeah, so you can only drink in designated fan areas.
So therefore,
which means you can only drink pre-match and post-match. Which is gonna be, that area is gonna be so full of people. Plus, I'm sure it is, if you don't have a ticket for that day, you can't, like, there are like probably projectors in that fan area.
Probably.
So which means, I imagine a lot of hardcores who wanna drink might not go to the actual stadium and stay instead at the fan area so they can drink.
I think so too. But
and like, you know what's ridiculous? The FIFA president said, we're gonna get so cancelled in this one. The FIFA president said that you can survive with not drinking beer for 3 hours, but it's not about that. It's a multicultural thing. So I don't see.
It's for people's enjoyment. People.
I
don't understand why.
It's never been an issue. It's never been an issue. But it's been an issue, but it's always been like a thing for the past, I don't know, I would say 50, 60 years that you can buy. I think even longer, you could buy a beer at a stadium. Like, you always were able to. And like, I think that the fact that, for example, the first World Cup is in Qatar is already, like, to me, again, not facts, but to me, it smells like someone got, like, bribed. Very, very much.
I mean, going back to the beer thing, the beer company, again, I'm not sure if it's Heineken or if it's Budweiser.
Budweiser is the main sponsor.
Budweiser. They basically said that, well, we can't sell this alcohol, right? Or we won't be able to sell all of this alcohol. Therefore, the winning team gets all of this beer, because what else are we supposed to do?
And the
so
thing is,
this one team's gonna get a fucking massive crate, like
shipping
crate of beer, because what else are they gonna do with it?
And
they physically can't do anything with the beer.
It's not just that, like, they could like, the initial plan was that the beer stalls in the stadium would be less prominent places, so it wouldn't be like if the Muslim people go there, they wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
But like Europeans could still buy it, and I'm pretty sure you could have asked for like a deal where it wasn't bottled, but like it was a uniform cup for every type of drink, so you couldn't tell what the person was drinking.
Yeah.
Right? So I think this would have been resolvable, and I think this was the initial plan. And then 2 days before the World Cup, the Qatar went, actually, let's not do beer in the stadiums.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like to me that they have had this agenda for the whole time, and they knew they can squeeze FIFA in the last 2 weeks.
And they have.
And they did, because they could say, no beer in stadium or World Cup is off.
Yeah,
like,
and then at that point it's like...
Doesn't matter if the stadium is gonna rot. We have oil money. Doesn't matter to us.
I mean, yeah.
Right?
Have you seen the welcome video that Qatar posted?
I have not. I have heard that...
They posted a video being like, oh, the country, like the fans, they're coming, right? It's like a video of like Germany, and they're all wearing the German like football t-shirts and flags and stuff, and they're like shouting like, yay, Qatar World Cup and whatever. Then it's like Portugal with their flags, and Spain and Brazil and shit. I'm gonna show you the video after the podcast. But every single person in that video is a darker skinned person. And I don't know how many Germans you have ever seen, but I can't imagine that the only people that went to Qatar to watch the football
tanned.
Are like different ethnicity tanned, you know?
Like they not a single white...
No, but listen, not a single white person was on that video. Not a single one. They were all like dark skinned. Every single person. And obviously I understand Brazil.
Yeah.
I kind of understand Portugal, Spain, sure, they're really warm countries.
They can get a tan.
They can get a tan.
Germany.
But like Germany, not a single white person. It was insane. Like I was watching that, and I like made a comment to my boyfriend, and he was like, oh yeah, like they got in shit because they're all paid actors just for the purpose of being like, look, like everyone's coming and whatever. They were all paid actors, and all of them were from Qatar. Hence why they looked the way that they looked.
You know, like the thing
it's insane.
You know, the other fun thing is, they actually like did this, like they paid fans to come there. Like that was this thing that they paid fans as long as they got a positive social media thing, and then this means that they paid for transport, accommodation, and they even got a daily allowance.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've just read this recently because it got out that these fans are paid. They cancelled the daily allowance.
That's hilarious.
Somebody just went there because I was like, okay, I'm gonna post nice things about this even if I don't like it, but I'm gonna get daily money so I don't have to spend my own money. Honest, this is a free trip for me, completely paid.
Yeah.
And now they are like, holy shit, this is expensive.
Yeah.
Like super expensive. Like Hungarian news reporters are out there, and because I'm from Hungary, I can tell you that much. If you listen, you know that. Anyway, so like Hungarian news reporters are there, and like I read it that a pint is like 10-15 pounds.
It's mad.
It's mad. Like I expect to see that in London, to be fair, in some pubs, but like not really across the UK. Like I think across the UK it's what, like 6 is like fancy pubs.
Yeah, 6
like,
is a lot.
£3.50, £4 is like the standard.
Yeah.
And then you go 6, and then
I think the maximum I've ever seen in London was £10. I don't think I've ever seen a pint for 50.
But like that's mad. It's so expensive, and I assume that's the cheapest one you can get.
Probably.
And also, it's also because of, I assume because it's Qatar. It also might be only one brand. It also might be Budweiser. That's the sole alcohol provider.
Yeah, that they can't sell any other one, for example.
Like, it was probably the only thing that they said. FIFA was like, well, we need beer. So, like, can you at least, like, let us, our biggest sponsor, which is Budweiser, like, bring beer? And they're like, fine.
Yeah. Not to mention, you can't show any affection if you are a LGBT person when you're in Qatar.
Yeah.
You can
you're gonna get arrested, right?
You can go to jail for 7 years, or actually
Executed.
get executed.
It's ridiculous.
Can you imagine? That is insane.
So
the drama with the housing as well. Have you seen, like, the tents that they have to live in? They look like you know,
Yurts?
when COVID happened, and they had those like plastic like tent things.
Beer tents.
Right, like with walls. And and they're like
beer tents.
flimsy. Yeah, people, and like you walk in through a zipper, and like you're in this room, quote unquote, with like a bed, no way to like store your belongings. Well, first of all, who would like, you could, even if you've managed to lock the zip, someone could just come in with a knife and fucking rip it open. Like, there was no safety in that thing.
See,
and they were saying
that's
it's just for the time being and it's fine. I watched a video today of ITV News.
Yeah.
The woman went there to show the housing situation and like what you would live in, and it's one of those like you know those plasticky like temporary buildings. I don't know if you've ever seen
container buildings.
Yeah,
container housing.
Essentially those.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Which isn't the worst. No, but listen.
You can make
but
really
like
good
plastic,
ones.
but like plastic. So like not like the metal ones or like plastic.
That's still okay.
Ones,
that's still okay. You can make still really good
fine.
ones.
Now listen to this. Listen to this. She showed the video and she was selling it all and she was going like, yeah, so like let's walk into this one. You on your right have a little station for like tea, coffee. There's a kettle. There's a little mini fridge, which is cool. It's great. She shows you the bathroom. She's like, there's a toilet, there's a sink, there's a shower. She walks into the room aspect. There's 2 single beds. She talks about how you can get like 2 double beds or like a double bed. So there's like options. And then she continues talking, and then she goes round the back and says, yeah, the only negative is like your view, and the view is just like a junkyard.
No, that's so bad.
And she goes, yeah, and like obviously they don't anticipate that fans are going to be in this area, so they didn't really care too much about it. At
least you could put on like some barrier.
It's £170 a night to live in this box that like, and she said, but you should be really glad because at least this one has air conditioning. And I was like, yeah, well done, because the plastic tents didn't.
And especially Qatar is a really warm country.
People are now saying that
country.
like it's impossible. They don't understand how the World Cup is going to happen because all of these countries and nations, they have come to this football match. Even footballers who are now going to have to play football in extreme heat.
Well, the thing is, right? The reason it's in the winter is because it's
colder,
cold.
But it
quote unquote cold.
Quote unquote cold, but it's not. It's still extreme heat. Like,
let me just check Qatar temperature right now.
They're gonna have these like they have these like cool fans on and stuff. There's videos of like footballers who like mid training are coming up to these like fans that are like blowing ice.
My god. So I just checked right now. Mm-hmm. It's 28 degrees or 23 degrees right now.
Okay.
But it can go tomorrow up to 28 degrees, Tuesday 28, this whole thing. By next Sunday it can go 30 degrees.
It's insane.
Which is really nice when it's the summer. To be fair, even in summer in Europe they would have to play in that heat.
I mean, yeah.
Like if the World Cup was held in Europe, right? Like in France or especially in Italy, like if it's Southern Europe, it would be the exact same or even more heat. Like I don't think it's like, especially I think European players are sort of used to it, and especially South American players are used to it because it's quite warm there.
It seems
but
a
like
little
Brazilian. But like thing is, like I think that yes, it is. It's just a weird choice of venue. A
very weird choice of venue. But, so they obviously have this no gay people, no gay affection thing going on. Yeah. So David Beckham is the new FIFA ambassador.
Oh God.
He got offered it recently, like in the last 2
Yeah.
weeks, I think. His cost to be the FIFA ambassador, from what sources say, is £10 million.
That's an insane amount of money for
Although
me.
some people are saying that actually the reality might be 105 million.
So okay.
Now listen to this. Wait.
I even went rolled my eyes at 10 millions because for me as an average UK worker, right? I'm saying that my salary is about the average UK wage.
I would say so, yeah, sure.
Right, yeah, I earn about average. Right now, I think that 10 million for me, how much do I would need to, if I stay with my current salary, how many years would I need to work? Let's see, let me just whip up a calculator. 10 million divided by my salary would be, I would need to work 312 years
to get to that.
Get to 10 million.
Yeah.
And that's assuming I'm not spending any of that.
Yeah,
Like,
and not
that
paying
is-
tax.
I'm not paying tax. Like, that is insane.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Like, it's so much money that if I don't progress up in my salary and I don't do investments, I will never, ever, ever get to that amount of money in my life.
No, yeah.
Because
So
it's such a ridiculous amount.
So David Beckham gets this offer
And even
to
105
be FIFA
million
ambassador.
is insane.
It's stupid. No, it is. So David Beckham, new ambassador of FIFA,
Yeah.
gets offered this amount of money. Then the whole gay situation in Qatar comes to light, and Joe Lycett, the comedian, he makes some good skits, some good videos.
I have not heard about him.
I'll show you a couple
Okay.
of videos of him. He's a really good comedian. I really like him. He essentially is most known for basically kind of identifying people's issues, and because he's famous and has a lot of money, he kind of manages to share the light on these kind of issues. So about a week ago, he posted a video where he addressed it to David Beckham, and he said, David, you are a gay icon because if you got married to who you got married, then you must be gay. We all know who he got married to. We don't have to say. By getting married to who he did, essentially he became a gay icon, quote unquote. And therefore, Joe Lycett said, like, hey, please don't accept this offer. Don't do this. Like, basically turn it down. I am willing to. And in the video, he has 10 grand on the desk, and he says, if you decline, if you quit becoming the FIFA ambassador, considering what is currently going on and the situation that is in Qatar and the fact that the World Cup is there and people are probably going to end up in jail, if not executed, for being themselves, for gay rights. And we live in a civilization where it's becoming more acceptable.
It's definitely like something that should be accepted.
So
everywhere, realistically in the world.
Everywhere, agreed.
It's crazy that in Western civilization this is accepted, and mostly.
There's obviously exceptions to every rule.
Everywhere, but yeah.
So
bad.
Joe Lycett, 10 grand on the table, and he says, if you quit, I am going to take this 10 grand and I'm going to give it to an LGBTQ charity. I'm going to give that money to the charity, because that to me will say that you support gay rights and that you are an accepting person, and that you don't agree with the new rule that's happening for the World Cup. Considering that he is a very famous football player, I mean, if he declines that offer, that will be a massive thing.
Yeah.
Well, David Beckham didn't acknowledge the video or maybe saw it, maybe didn't want to say anything, maybe 10 grand,
the
10 grand to him was just like pennies to
money.
us, like
pocket money.
So he didn't do anything about it. And Joe Lycett does a live stream. He doesn't say a single word. He comes on the live stream wearing a rainbow coat, very like really really extravagant, with red earmuffs. Like he walks onto the stream, onto the live stream with 10 grand in his hand and a wood chipper, and puts the 10 grand into the wood chipper, and the 10 grand just gets shredded. And you can see the 10 grand, like he does it in 2 bulks, so like 5 grand each. He just puts it in the wood chipper and it just fucking like flies out. And as soon as he does that, puts both of them in, they stop flying without a single word, walks off the thing, and the live ends. And it's currently like people are in 2 minds about it.
Right.
Some are saying this is a great statement. He has a lot of money.
I just put David Beckham in Google right now. The first news article I get is from the BBC. Is Joe Lycett shreds 10k in David Beckham Qatar protest.
Yeah.
It's literally the first thing. Second thing is the same thing from Sky News. Same thing from The Guardian, Independent. Same from ITV, he's silent on the controversy. iNews does the same. Like basically everything is about this right now. It is crazy. Even the second row Google, first is news, second is on Twitter, and it's literally the same thing.
No, yeah.
It's memes. And then only after I scroll after news, I can see a picture of him.
No, yeah. Yeah. No, so listen.
Like
so
I knew
Joe
what he knew. I knew what he looked like.
So Joe Lycett is... He's controversial. Very controversial. But in his controversy, he raises a lot of issues. Right. And because he's controversial...
So it's like Daniel Sloss a bit. Daniel Sloss is super controversial.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think.
But
I love him. Like I love his humor.
Joe Lycett is mainly a comedian, realistically. And because of his following, because of his controversy, because of the fact that he is a famous person and therefore kind of has an impact, his controversies have an impact. So to him, 10 grand, I mean, it's probably nothing, right? But the reality is that he already, after the video, after shredding 10 grand, has made 10 times more money just by making a video of shredding 10 grand.
It's insane.
It's insane. He didn't say a single thing on the video.
And he earns 100 grand.
And he earned 100 grand just because he walked on a video.
I know, like it's a bit off topic, but like this is the thing is like what I don't understand about society is that right now I like to think of myself. No, I'm not like to think of myself. According to the UK government, I am a high-skilled worker. I have a university degree. I have a master's degree in software engineering. I am a high-skilled worker.
Yeah.
Right? And I earn average salary in the UK.
Well,
and
maybe like a little above average, I would say.
Is average lower than what I earn? Jesus.
I think that
like, it might be a little bit, but
like
it's basically what
you earn more than minimum wage for sure.
I earn more than minimum wage. I think I said average wage.
Yeah, but the reality is that more people earn
less
minimum wage than they earn more. So
anyway, my point is like there are like these just pretty girls who earn £800,000 a month or year just by existing.
Posting full photos on Instagram.
Posting that, not just that. But like even on OnlyFans, they just have to post a bikini photo. Yeah. They get, I'm pretty sure 50, 60 grand for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane that I know that technically this is not a paying job. It's like it's not really a profession. It's you provide.
It's a side hustle.
It's a side hustle, right? You provide a service, but like all of these people went into full time because they earn so much money.
That they might as well.
They might as well, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't need to do anything in their lives, and the thing is, they have to save up because they're not gonna get like a retirement fund. They're not gonna have pensions after doing OnlyFans.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right. That's my thing is like, it's just I find it mind blowing that people earn insane amounts of money. Now, this episode might come back to bite us in the ass if we actually ever monetize this podcast, but yes, you can call me out on it at the time. But I still...
It's fine. You know what? We'll probably post an apology video.
We'll post an apology video, yeah, for like this entire thing.
No, but I think, you know what? I also don't agree that people should just be quiet.
No, right.
And the reality is that us talking about it, I mean, it probably
won't affect anything.
Won't affect much, and you know what? It's probably shining a light on the negativity of the aspect, and I'm sure that there are positivities in a lot of the things that we have talked about today. But I think that these kind of things need to be talked about,
right? So
and people need to be aware of what's going on, and people need to be aware that, like, you know what? Not everything is right, and just because people have a lot of money doesn't mean that they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yes.
And that's talking about Elon Musk, and that's talking about big corpos in Qatar. Like, just because they have money doesn't mean that what they do is right.
Yeah.
And we need to raise awareness of that.
Yeah,
and
100%.
We need to talk about it.
I feel that so many honest earning people who earn an honest wage by going to work every day, like, is not being appreciated for their contribution to society.
Agreed.
Like the fact is that by selling feet pics, you can become a millionaire in a matter of months or weeks.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But you could work your ass off for the rest of your life and never even get
a million.
Yeah.
Like, because that is like a lot of like people with like investor mindset just said that yes, this is a thing. You're not gonna get rich by earning money. You're gonna get rich by investing, taking risks, and doing something nobody has ever thought about. The problem is, I don't think this should be the case. I think rewards should be like I really don't like the inequality in like wealth in the world.
Oh, me too.
Like, I feel that the very, very rich is definitely not like.
And they have no sort of difficulties in their lives.
Like, you know what?
Like, if I drove a car and I get a car fine, right? I don't know, hit somebody accidentally, have a car accident, I break the law and I get a fine. That fine
will affect you.
Will affect me.
A rich person will not care.
A rich person does not give a flying fuck about some 10 grand fine, or, oh, you need to pay £250 because you drove on a red light. To them, that is like, I made that back. And I made 10 times that.
Right,
like,
but
to them, it's stupid money.
You know what? Like,
you know what country I agree with? Oh, Sweden, Finland, Switzerland, one of those.
The
Norway,
Nordic countries.
The one of them, and they basically implemented this thing where they said, we will fine you based on your income.
That's weird.
So the fine is,
the problem is
5% of your income. It's going to hurt as much a bit popular person,
the problem
rich
is
person
with this
as it is.
that the very rich, like Mark Zuckerberg, for example.
The rich stay rich.
The problem is their salary is $1 or like minimum wage.
Yeah.
Because what they do is they have they have untaxable income.
Yeah.
Well,
that's how they stay rich.
That's how they stay rich. Now the thing is, what I recently read listened to like a clip. I don't know from where. There was this woman who's saying that her pre-pandemic earnings were like 800k a year.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, she wanted to get back there. Because after the pandemic she flopped and she was only like 150k. And then what she realised is, once you reach a certain amount of income, you can live that lifestyle. Like, it doesn't matter if you have 100k or 800k, if even if with 800k you live at that 100k lifestyle, which is where she preferred to live, because she needed money for DoorDash, which is American delivery service. She needed money for like deliveries. She needed money for like basically keeping up with bills, and then some other stuff like healthcare and shit.
Yeah.
And then other than that, not for nothing really, because she was like a person who preferred to stay at home.
Right.
Like that, yes, you don't need a lot more money. And she said that she decided not to invest a lot of money in her like grow business and try to reach that. She said she accepted that it's comfortable for her. If it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better. But I feel this is the mindset that a lot of rich people should take. Like, the problem is everybody wants power.
And money.
I personally want. So this is what I think my family, well, my upbringing has told me. I want enough money to be able to travel, to be able to see the world. I want enough money to be well off, so I wouldn't need to worry if there's an emergency, like, happening.
Right.
So, for example, if I suddenly have to pay something,
or like one day lose a job.
One day I lose a job.
Out of the blue.
I should be able to stay alive for like 6 months.
Yeah, until you find a job, yeah. Right?
Like, I want to have like savings. I want to be able, like, I don't need to be uber rich. I don't want to be like super famous. I don't want to be this like super rich person who is like lives this like very lavish lifestyle. No, I want to be well off. I want to travel the world. I want to be able to give this to my kids if I have any.
Right.
Right? So I want to be able to like teach them these values that yes, you should earn enough money so that you can fulfill your life goals. But yes, it's good to earn money because it can make your dreams happen. But I wouldn't want to earn money just to screw with other people.
See,
right? Or just to like be the richest person, or like it doesn't appeal to me.
No, it doesn't appeal to me either.
Like I want to be like I want to be in a comfortable level where I can say that yes. And honestly, I don't think it's unachievable for a high school, like a university graduate. Like I don't think for me, in 10 years I might even be there. Like as just a developer. Like with an honest wage, you can totally live that life where you have a comfortable income, and you can save enough so you can go traveling every year.
Yeah.
I don't want to say travel every like week. I want to go on holiday
once a year,
once or twice a year, or maybe 3 times if I'm really lucky.
Yeah. No, see, the way I want to be able to have enough money where I can go on holiday once a year and not look for like the cheapest option. Like if I want to go to a better hotel or to a better place, I want to be able to do that. I don't want to like look at Turkey and look at the cheapest hotel in Turkey.
Right, yeah. Right? Basically what we've been doing now, right?
Yeah, and obviously, don't get me wrong, I'm currently not in that state. Therefore, a holiday to Turkey in the cheap hotel appeals to me. I don't mind. However, in the future, I would like to be able to, I don't know, go to at least a 4-star hotel.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be 5-star. 5-star would be cool, but like...
For now, like, to be fair, we are thinking of a 4-star hotel for next year's holiday. Like, I think that's perfectly viable.
I mean, we'll see. But I agree in the aspect of, like, kids as well. Like, I want to be able to... Like, my boyfriend says, when I raise the comment of kids, it's always not in this economy. But the way I see it is, if you have earnings where you live off comfortably, if you have children that obviously take up a lot of your money, if you can continue to live in a way where you are still comfortable, then the kids are not the issue. And if you can live well and have a child or 2, or I don't know, however money lets you, then the economy shouldn't really impact that. Because the reality is the economy is biting everybody in the ass.
Yeah.
Whether you have kids or you don't have kids, the economy is fucking you over.
Yeah, it does.
Like, the cost of living is constantly growing. The cost of housing is constantly growing.
Like,
the
you know
income,
what
the
I
income,
hate?
like so
You know what I
surprisingly,
hate?
is not growing. Like,
You know what I hate passionately is when previous generation comes to is like not even previous generation, not even my parents, but like older, like grandparents' generation, right?
yeah,
Like they go and like, oh, like, what, you should buy a house. You are a young adult now. You should buy a house. Shouldn't live with like other people. Or you should live alone, and you should like find someone. You should buy a house. And I'm like, yes, you could in 1990 buy a house for 50 grand,
yeah,
but your salary was also much more comparable to a house. Like there's been like a showing of like value, like the salary, yearly salary increases in the US, but nowhere near compared to how much the real estate like market spiked.
yeah.
So the fact that you were able to buy, like, I just said a random number, by the way, I'm not sure if you could buy for 50 grand a house. Probably you could. The fact that the salary only increased by 10% and the house is increased by 1,000% means that there is insanely difficult to get into the real estate market. Like, I'm not sure if I'll ever own a house in the UK.
I had a conversation with my dad about this recently. You know, he kind of said this thing where he said, I could buy you a house that you would pay me rent. And by paying me rent, you're essentially paying my mortgage. And you could live there for the rest of your life. I could just, you know, sign it in your name. And but it would be like my house, right? But my dad said, but I don't want to do that because I think you should get to that yourself.
Yeah.
And the reality is that, like, yeah, sure. I mean, I probably could. However, I mean, I'm paying a lot of money on rent, where realistically I could probably be spending that money on a mortgage.
Yeah.
And have a house in the near future. But I won't have a house in the near future. And if I have a house in the next 10 years...
And it's really difficult,
that's amazing.
Right? Because...
But the reality is that I'm probably going to be renting a house for as long as I probably can. Like,
because especially we are very young.
My dad...
We are very, very young, and there's uncertainty whether even for me, whether I'm going to stay in this city. I would like to.
I don't
Not gonna like to.
I want to go somewhere else.
But like, for example, we've talked about, for example, moving out into like a nearby town.
Yeah.
It's like more quiet, more chill.
Yeah.
Prices are cheaper.
Uh-huh.
And then just like going in and out from the city, right?
Yeah.
That could totally work, especially for computer science. You can really work in home office. It doesn't really matter.
True.
But
Yeah.
the whole point is that, yes, it would be good, but it's so uncertain where my job will take me, especially I think as well for you as well. So like, it's like, it would be a stupid thing to buy a house for me right now, because
Right now, definitely.
right now, like, even let's say,
I think in the next 5 years, like,
because
my life...
if I buy a house, I immediately, like, if I buy a house that's broken down, I have to take out a loan to repair it.
Definitely,
Mortgage it. I have to take out a loan to repair it, and then I have to rent it out to be able
Make
to
that money back. So
or if I buy a new house, I'll have to immediately rent it out. But I would have to get probably some licenses.
Yeah, you realistically probably unlikely would be able to.
So
but
I
you
would
could.
have to become a
I mean, the reality is, like, my dad, he only just bought the house that he lives in, like, 5 years ago. However, we have at that point lived in that house for 10 years.
Yeah.
And, well, to be fair, it's now, 10 years. So my
You've
dad
been living there for 15 years now, right?
My dad we have lived in that house now for 15 years. But when he decided to buy the house, he bought it from the council. We lived in that house for 10 years at that point. And in that 10 years, my dad did a lot of renovations to the house, they took time. They were not all at the same time. They were separated. They were in little chunks. He did what he needed straight away. So like we had a kitchen fitted, and like he did a bit of the living room. He made the bedrooms, like painted the walls, got the things like.
I get it.
Bare minimum. What you needed to live, that's what he did. And we lived like that for a very long time. And occasionally he would then like do a small little renovation here and there.
Yeah.
Like he completely wiped out the bathroom and like we did a new bathroom and stuff. But it was in little chunks. And while he did that, he was saving.
Yeah.
Constantly. His pretty much whole income went to his savings. He paid what he needed for the house, paid what he needed for the gas, for the electric, for the water, paid what he needed for food, and to look after me and my brother, because I have a younger brother. But the reality is that, like, if, let's throw a number like 30 grand, if he gets 30 grand a year,
he would save half.
He would probably, at least half of that would have went into our savings. Now, my dad is very sort of specific with his money, so to say, and his vision of, I wanted to buy this house, was very strong, and therefore the money that he saved went into a savings account, and we didn't really go on holiday. If we did, it was a very cheap holiday.
Yeah.
We didn't really do a lot. We
went to relatives back, right?
Relatives and back. To be fair, we went on like a couple of holidays, like to Spain. We went to like twice or three times to Spain.
We went to
Turkey. We went to Turkey. Like we went on holiday. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't actually
an
expensive holiday. It was, oh, my dad found this holiday. The hotel isn't that great, but well, it's Turkey.
We're gonna make it work.
We're gonna make it work. Realistically, we're probably going to spend most of the time in the pool or on the beach.
Yeah.
My dad didn't really care what the rooms look like, and that's fine.
That was our mentality this year as well. Right?
It was and don't get me wrong.
We spent most of our time in the pool, or we went on trips.
Yeah.
We basically only went to our rooms to sleep.
Yeah. And, like, don't get me wrong, I still have that kind of thought in my mind, and the reality is that I don't care what my room looks like in a hotel.
As long as it's acceptable.
I obviously don't want cockroaches walking on my face.
But as long as it's acceptable, it's okay.
But, you know, I don't really care. Like, I'm not that bothered.
Yeah, but obviously, if you can afford to go a bit more luxury,
then go for it. However, so my dad, he saved a lot. We kind of lived a very, I wouldn't say a poor lifestyle, but a modest lifestyle. We didn't really spend lavishly. We kind of saved. We didn't really spend unnecessarily money, and it's been fine. Like we were well off in some aspects, and when my dad got the decision that we are going to buy the house, my dad paid for half of the house up front, and he could have done that. Why? Because for the last 10 years. He saved. And like, sure, that's fine. That meant that he only realistically needed to get a mortgage for 5 years, which is what he did. He now paid off the mortgage. But the reality is, like, that's 15 years.
Yeah, like...
That's 15 years.
And like,
realistically, sure, he got lucky. The only reason he got lucky with the house is that my mum was pregnant and we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, which...
was not good enough. Not big enough.
It wasn't big enough for 4 people. And also, by UK law, I wasn't allowed to share a bedroom with my brother because of my age and his age. It really kind of wasn't ideal. The law kind of says, or it doesn't, I don't know. I think it does though. That like after a certain point, if the kids are ages or at specific points, they shouldn't be sharing a bedroom.
Like if it's 2 years or 2 years difference between the siblings, should be fine.
Yeah.
But there's quite a lot of difference between you and your brother, right?
8 years.
8 years, yeah.
So, like, at this point, my brother was a newborn and I was 8 years old. Like,
it's not ideal, yeah.
when I went to high school, my brother just started school and he was 3.
I mean, you know that, like, right? When I started university, my brother started kindergarten.
Yeah, my brother
Like,
started
it's
kindergarten when I
insane.
was in high school.
So, like,
Obviously,
it's
the
insane.
age
Like,
difference between me and your brother is different,
my brother and I have a 16-year-old age difference, like a gap. That is massive. Like,
Yeah.
by the time I was at uni, he was literally just turned 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So, my parents lived in this 2-bed apartment, obviously not viable for a 4-people household, like that they needed to move out. They applied for the council, and because my mum was really heavily pregnant, they were at the top of the list. They got a great house. And it is a great house, and it is in a great neighbourhood, and good for them, honestly.
But not everyone is that lucky.
But the reality is that, like, if I was in this situation, say now, where, I don't know, I don't live here anymore and I want to get a house, well, I can apply to the council. I'm probably not going to be at the top of the list. I'm probably going to be somewhere low.
And then there's going to be your choices are private landlords.
My choices are private landlords where I can rent and get absolutely fucked over by a landlord, or
like an
overpay,
agency that doesn't do anything.
or an agency that doesn't do anything, or overpay, or live in a flat where I don't have access to a laundry in my room or in my house. I need to go to a different floor and share a laundry with 300 other people that live in my block of house.
Or like going to like moving with a random person.
Or moving with a randomer and
like potentially get killed. Yeah.
Like
or
just
raped or like whatever. Like
my choices are not as good as their choices, and our parents don't understand that the reality is that they are in very different situations than we are currently. And sure, my dad bought his house in 5 years, was able to pay half of it up front, and that is brilliant. What he doesn't realise is that if he now wanted to buy that house, he
would need to pay almost not double, but like
his upfront cost would
33%.
His upfront cost would not be half anymore. It would be like 25%. His
30%. Something.
His 5-year mortgage
would be 10 years.
Would be a 10-year, 15-year mortgage because he would not be able to have made it work.
Yeah.
Literally. And the reality is that is our reality. That if I want a decent house in the city that I currently live in, then I'm looking at upwards of 30,000 or 300,000 pounds, realistically.
Yes, like like the
and at that point
in the newly built towers, right?
Or just newly built buildings.
I've seen just the towers, right? In the towers, a 1-bedroom apartment is about £420,000.
We walked
not
past
on a high floor.
We walked past.
Although it's really fancy, I don't think it's worth it that much.
No, we walked past a agency the other week with my boyfriend, and we kind of stopped at one of the boards that was showing like houses for sale. Some of the houses, I'm not gonna lie to you, not that appealing, and most of them like $500,000 for like a 2-bedroom house with 1 bathroom, a living room and a kitchen. And it's $500,000.
And a little backyard.
And a tiny backyard. And if it has a driveway, then you're lucky. But it might not. Like, the reality is that the prices are just fucking ridiculous. And if you can't afford to pay at least 10% of what the house costs, then your reality of having a house is very slim.
Right.
Especially for like if you're a single income household.
Especially I feel that so in the UK, right? I think the mentality is renting the house is not bad.
Which it is. I don't agree with that.
No, it is not. It is not a good thing. I don't like it. But no, in Hungary, the mentality is that if you're a family, you know when you made it. Like, it's a status. Like, it's a level you need to reach. You need to own your own house.
Right.
And the fact is, a lot of families don't. A lot of families rent. But I would say ownership is still like valued more there than here. Because here I feel like a whole neighborhood can be owned by one person. And everyone rents there. Like, yeah. Anyway, do you want to move on to the next topic or finish off?
No, I think that like we talked about enough things.
Yeah.
I have like 2 topics that we kind of have left, but
Well, we can
the
bring it up
reality
next
is that
week,
like
yeah.
we can talk about it next week. It's not like the end of the world.
Right.
And we kind of talked about a lot.
We
in
talked
this
about
episode,
a lot.
Yeah.
No, we talked about things that were not like on the agenda.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Then I guess thank you for tuning in for those 5 wonderful people.
Yeah.
And then we will be checking the analytics to check if you actually listened to this podcast as well.
Yeah, and then we'll be sending you very angry
DMs,
Facebook messages.
DMs. Yes. All right, folks. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah.
We'll see you. Well, you will hear us next week.
Yeah.
We'll be back on Sunday.